Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Princesses of Womanitoba. This episode features Princess Currency. The Princess of Currency is sitting at a desk, wearing cool, maybe sexy glasses, and she's looking at piles of paperwork. The inbox was overflowing as it was stacked higher than the outbox. That is because she is thoroughly reading every bit of parchment. Very meticulous work. Time ticks away on an old grandfather clock of her otherwise sterile and spacious office. The echo can be atmospherically heard as if the sound was mixed for a movie to illustrate just how quiet and desolate her position is. A piece of paper gets flipped loudly onto the outgoing container. Eventually, another, then another, and then another. This went on for hours. However, an unexpected chime came from both her antique clock and her mobile device. They both resonated within the room as Princess Currency began to scribble a note in her agenda. Forms from Saturday are needed to be done after party. A to S are done. T to 9 are left. After the chimes ended, her device was presented with some alerts. She read over them to confirm incoming documents for the next day. As she finished responding to the clients and associates, a rather frivolous alert came blaring from her device's speakers. An array of colors reflected from her glasses, along with a high-toned rendition of Happy Birthday was playing. The last notification was from Princess Birthday, a reminder for her. Hi Princess, happy birthday. I just wanted to remind you of your party at Hindenburg Burger. Be there or be square. Princess Currency smirked as she admired the text. It was the silliest thing she read all day. Even if the paperwork was done for the day, she still had to file and submit forms in her department. She runs an efficient office, however, her coworkers are only human, and they cannot put these documents into legislation just yet. As quick as the princesses can communicate with each other, outside parties and non-princesses are part of the motion that puts the princesses' rules into power. Despite that, it does take at least 30 days to ratify such proclamations, which is still pretty quick. Signatures and rotary stamps are being applied to forms to validate the other forms on top of the other forms. It's democracy at its finest. The dutiful people of Currency's cabinet work swiftly and expertly throughout the day. Each second isn't wasted. Signed, signed, signed. A coworker droned as she scrawled her name that held authority to the forms. She handed them off to the rotary as she voiced her action as she stamped. It wasn't glamorous, but they did dress sophisticatedly as the position allowed. We're early? With a minute to spare? Should we wait? The notarizer said. Yes, as we do, let's go through our mental checklists, Princess said. I second that. Any amendments? The signee said. 1. Give Princess an in-office birthday card, signed and notarized, the notarizer retorted. Then the motion passes, Princess Currency declared. They did what they said, as all three mumbled as they listed through the duties of their job descriptions. Signed, the signee said as she handed it off to the notarizer. Signed and notarized, the notarizer then said, stamping the card whilst handing it over to the princess. Quickly she read the card, glanced at the art from cover to cover, then read the price tag. The princess brought up her forearm to see the second hand was about to make it 5 p.m. sharp. Done, the princess said, as they apparently stood up and exited the cabinet office. The princess was last to leave and locked the door by simply holding the doorknob. She had this ability to make benign tasks take less time to complete. Her powers are at her fingertips. Just as she locked the door without a key, she then turned out the lights as they left the room as she flicked the air while concentrating her focus on the light switch. An action that saves her time, albeit not much time, but time manipulated by time can add up so quickly. Money isn't the issue with her, it's time itself. Her co-workers are heading to the locker room down the hall. As always, and for a moment she considered inviting them to her party, but decided it's best if they'd gone home. They are both mothers after all, and they'd rather be at home, right? Princess Currency had changed into her formal yet casual wear, and was rather predictable. She often wore a pair of boots with small heels that support her foot and is set up with the best soles. So comfy that it feels like she's letting in a small stream of cascading water over her skin. The same with her pants. They are thick but loose and has a warm, radiant, static clinging feeling against her skin. Her shirt made her feel like she was swimming, so you would see her arms swinging as she walked. The The last article she donned was a bright jacket that she wrapped herself in. It has no effects, but it was a gift she got years before becoming a princess. Also, the pink base color of the fabric transitions into a black that melds nicely with the dark tone of her pants. She made her way out of the regional castle grounds, which is surrounded by a moat, with 4 large bridges that are prospectively angled with the north, south, west, and east directions. Princess was on a horse-drawn carriage. On her magic cell phone, she accessed an app called the ICU. The display showed her profile pic as a Shepherd Fairy style image with the dollar symbol just beneath her portrait. She didn't create this image, it was done by her friend, Princess Birthday, shortly after they were ordained. Again, Princess Infrastructure had developed provincially locked technology, and this cell phone is leagues above any other existing tech. It provides the princesses direct internet services, long battery life, and local storage. Also, any princess can create magic spells. They can even modify it on their device. On the ICU app, she tapped a tiara-shaped crown that opens a list of princesses. It opens as a set of 2 directories. The Princess of Currency was one of the main overviewing and ruling princesses who governed the other princesses' activities. As mentioned before, Princess Birthday operates under Currency. She selected her directory and pressed B on the touchscreen keyboard to then scroll for Birthday. As she did, the screen splashed with digital sparklers and colorful confetti as even some brass horns fanfare blared from her speakers. On their pages, the princesses have their statuses constantly updated of where they are and where they're going. Currently, Birthday Princess was finishing a party and is scheduled for Currency's party. There is a button to alert Birthday Princess, but before she can even touch the screen, Birthday Princess popped in a window and greeted Currency. "Oh, hi, Princess. I'm on the way to the secret location." "You mean the Handendenberger?" "Who told you?" "You did." "Oh, never mind that. I'm already putting out the alert for all those in the area to attend. About 563 and about another 3,500 set to livestream the event. Isn't that exciting?" "That's rather disturbing." "Ooh, I forgot. What was that thing you told me to remember? Something about a ring, spring, sink, trinket, anklet?" She trailed on. "A song. I want you to remix a song for me." "Oh, right. I did that already. So anyways, I'll be seeing you soon." Princess Birthday signed off and immediately sent her a pic with a bunch of balloons and heart emoticons. Princess Currency admired the way Birthday puckered her lips. However, another prompt appeared on her cell informing her of the next day's work order. About 3,756 documents that are being prepared by the night shift. She confirmed tomorrow's influx of Princess Birthday's party's write-offs regarding the citizens who celebrated their birthday parties today. With a sigh, she pressed the OK confirmation button and turned off her device, then slumped back into her seat of her carriage. Princess Birthday's party carriage drove by in the opposite direction as she shouted, "Penny, catch!" Princess Currency's eyes widened that were alerted by the sound of her given name. Subjects aren't supposed to call the princesses by their real names, although Birthday is a friend and their drivers are professionals. So it was fine. Also, she just barely was able to grab the item Birthday tossed her as Currency jolted up from her seat to catch it before it fell on the road. She examined it, which had a tag that read, "Do not open until later tonight." The tag also had a fold, and in it read, "I can't wait, open it, open it." En route to the restaurant, she delicately removed the wrapping and bow to reveal a little box. It was folded closed. She popped it open and found a ring inside made of nickel. It was engraved with the phrase, "Princess Cash Money is so cash." It also had $sign money bag emoticons that were legally distinct from the money bags that Gene Simmons trademarked. She put it on and admired the gemstone Birthday used to make this ring. "A pearl," Currency murmurs as she used her thumb to slide it down her ring finger. The carriage bounced on the road as the warm, late afternoon sun shined down, but something strange began to happen, despite the weird magical fanfare that sounded from the ring that greeted her with a birthday song. "Happy birthday to you." "Also, you can't take this ring off until you get back. From where? See you soon." The voice was Birthday's, and the ring itself began to glow. A ball of light issued out from the pearl and floated above Currency's head. This light shone down and lit the direction where her eyes can see, almost as though she had a cone of vision. You know, if she were an enemy guard in a Metal Gear game that Kojima made and not Metal Gear Survive. The world before her was different, yet the same. as if it were a video game modded with a different texture from its original. Even her carriage had a new slick style about it. Currency didn't feel much different. She wasn't anxious or worried. She was business as usual. But she crawled up to the driver to ask if they could come to a stop. The driver, who was now a furry beaver man, had obliged her. The driver heeded her request and pulled over. Currency grimaced. What is this?
I couldn't tell you, Princess. What is the matter exactly?
You don't see what I'm seeing, I take it? You are a beaver.
Right, Princess.
It appears Birthday had created a vision spell that activates while I'm wearing this ring. Shall we continue to the party?
Yes. I'm glad you didn't talk to me whilst driving, Princess. It would have been dangerous.
And with that, he shouted,
5 Dime, yeah!
5 and Dime were the horses' names. Now that she has this magical augmentation, the downtown scene was so new, so vibrant, and she dare thought adorable. She couldn't help to look at the crowds, the skyline, and the special signs that Princess Birthday seemed to have placed with no apparent pattern. There seems to be a theme, however, as billboards and shop signs were altered in a comical way that would be taken as lewd. But it was an inside joke that she and Birthday developed over the years. However, this time the jokes are now visualized. Fool is a word they substitute for another word in existing signs and nouns, such as the local market was called Brand Fools, and it now had a sign that read Fools Foods, but it shifted like a hologram to now read Brand Fools. Brand Fools wasn't as funny as Fool Foods, though, but that was part of the fun. She noticed the people waving and smiling at her as they rode by them. Princess Currency saw families of wolves with cubs, cats with kittens, and even bears hanging out with a moose and squirrel. They had clothes on, by the way, and Princess Currency swooned at the little animal children. Her mother was taken aback as she was stunned that the princess was acting a little more animated than usual. It's Currency! Bow your heads! I didn't raise rude children! The mother said as her voice trailed away as the carriage moved on, but another sign caught her eye. It was an animal version of what looks like to be Birthday, who was pointing with her hoof. Birthday's antlers were decorated with balloons and ribbons, as she's depicted with a wink and a grin. This way, the sign seems to say with a hint of hurry, hurry. The beaver man drove the carriage down the street where the Hamden Burger is located. There didn't seem to be anyone there, aside from Princess Hamburger to welcome her. Hello, and happy birthday to you, Penny, the Princess Hamburger greeted as Penny stepped off the carriage. Hi, thank you. Penny smiled wryly at Hamburger's odd muskrat appearance. Is there something the matter? No,
She sees us as anthropomorphic animals, Princess Hamburger, due to Princess Birthday's enchanted ring, the beaver driver nonchalantly explained as he rode away with 5 and Dime. Well then, everyone's waiting. The parking lot was relatively empty. If there was a surprise waiting, then it would be a surprise indeed, unless they were invisible. Maybe that is a component of Birthday's ring that masks others who share her birthday? Both princesses entered the building, as there was no one else inside to be seen. The time is 6 p.m. sharp. The party should be starting soon, unless everyone is late. Well, Penny, what will you have? The usual? Sure, unless you have something special. I can make it if you like that instead. That would be great, she said, propping up her purse on the table. Oh no, Penny, this one's on me. Okay. Princess Hamburger left Penny alone. They were really the only two inside the restaurant. Penny looked about the room. It is also augmented with earthy tones, which seems to resemble a tree den. She caught a glimpse of herself in the glass entrance as she was coming in. She decided to freshen up in the ladies' room as she waited for her burger. In the mirror, she saw her antenna, thick hairs, large eyes, and hard exoskeleton in the form of a bee. I guess this ring also includes all life, she murmured as she was considering taking off the ring that was on the tip of her finger. She returned from the washroom. There was now a big present in the room. She approached it and noticed there was another tag to read. It simply read, "Thank you for being a BPFF. Best princess friends for 5 ever." Penny pulled the ribbon that tied off the bow, and the side of the box opened like a double door, and she was presented with a portal. She heard a voice that invited her in. There she is! Come in, Penny! Penny stepped inside and was transported into a large domed hall with many of her subjects who were led by Princess Birthday in singing Happy Birthday.
It was silly to see these animals, insects, and even mystical creatures like a huge dragon singing along. And this made Princess of Currency laugh as the doll-like appearance of Birthday tried her best to grab Penny's hands as they sang and danced. When the song ended, Penny was holding her face trying to control her smile. But then Birthday began to sing a familiar song. Birthday touched Penny's ring and it created a microphone of light.
If you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift from me, and the card attached would say.
Both Penny and Birthday sang in unison. Princess Birthday then gestured to the crowd as they finished the lyric.
Thank you for being a friend.
Throughout the party, they sang a few more songs, as it was kind of like a karaoke performance, as all the guests had some songs to sing too. All of this Princess Birthday had arranged. At one point, Princess Hamburger had creeped up behind Penny to feed her a special B-Day burger. As the party winded down, Birthday asked to take off the ring. Penny was a little shy to see all who were disguised as animals, but Birthday expertly slid off the ring and the light faded away and saw the many faces of her subjects. Even her co-workers were jumping and waving at Penny. As the fanfare slowly came to a lull, Birthday urged her to address them. Today was fun. She seemed to pause as people laughed at the awkward silence. But I was not looking forward to today, as it was my first birthday as a princess. However, I think Birthday sensed that and made it so much fun. I hadn't smiled so hard in a long time by all the faces I've seen today due to the magic of this ring. Birthday helped me to face this event, as I was dreading it because usually my parties were not so robust as this one was. So I'd like to thank my friend and yours, Princess Birthday. As the crowd cheered, it signified the end of the night. As Birthday walked up to Penny, as she whispered,
"That ring was a microphone ring. I didn't put any other magic spell on it."
The end?